Well, hey there, howdy folks, it's Doug again. It's been a minute since I made this last video, but I want to show you my new place. I got this TV where I usually rock the television and or Netflix movie nonsense, and then my game situation. And I just did all the what do you call them, dishes. There you go. And I wanted to make this video because I was having a really good conversation with somebody, and I'm going to do a bit of armchair pontification, like pretty much literally. Universal healthcare. And not a lot of people know this, but I was a licensed agent in the state of Michigan. So I do have a bit of knowledge. Actually, I consider myself to be somewhat of an expert on the topic. So I'm having this conversation with somebody who, first of all, I got to say, doesn't really give a shit. Secondly, I think that they agree with me, but are playing devil's advocate, which, I don't know, kind of a waste of time if you ask me. However, my point of this is really simple, dude. Russia, Italy, Germany, Spain, Japan, pretty much every other industrialized nation on the planet pays less for healthcare than we do. And they get comparable to even possibly even better care. They're held to very high standards, doctors that go to like school for a long time. So that's one of the biggest arguments I have, biggest proponents that I have to this is that people say like, oh, they're not going to get as good a care, or it's going to cost more in taxes. And I have a really good answer for the taxes, which is obviously, yeah, it's going to cost more in your taxes because it's going to be a governmentally funded, institution that we all pool into. Okay, so yes, indeed, your taxes will arise. That is unquestionably correct. However, what people do not understand is that the vast majority of humans, Americans in this case, that will pay into this pool will get more out of the system than they put in, which means that the taxes for the very wealthy will increase, whereas not so wealthy individuals will pay more but possibly nothing. And anyways, the point of that is that you will potentially save more money in healthcare by doing this than you would otherwise, which is a really important part. So I say that taxes will increase, yeah, but you're also not paying deductibles and copays and premiums and $1,200 per pill, which is my next point. So the pharmaceutical industry is one of the, if not the largest lobbyists for Washington, and at the same time, the American people pay $1,200, whatever a pill costs in Canada or France or Great Britain or any of the other beautiful nations that I've already mentioned. Why do we pay exponentially more than them? What's up with that? Why? Because we don't have the buying power. See, they all have universal health care, so that as a country they can say, well, you have to bargain with us because we all agree that you can't just rip us off. And that's pretty standard. You're buying a car, you don't want the government to say, well, these people are going to shit on you, so enjoy that. No. So with universal health care, we will have a buying power. It won't be all these individual little companies making profit themselves and working with the government to screw over the people that are paying for it. It's just not the way it works. And unfortunately, people will lose their jobs. And honestly, having been working for those companies, they do deserve to be disrupted. They're mismanaged, they're corrupt and greedy, and it's not great. So yeah, on the point of taxes, you are going to pay more in taxes. When you pay on April 14th, you're going to pay more in taxes. However, what I want to say is that overall, the majority of people will save money, and that's important because while taxes sound bad, like you're paying taxes, imagine just being able to go to the hospital because you're sick. Or not even that. I'm talking to this guy about preventative care and how important that is. Don't you want your company workers to be well? I mean, do you ever hear of sick days? And these other people in these other countries don't go bankrupt from going to the hospital. Yeah, okay, you have cancer. I'm really sorry about that. We're going to try and help you out. So, don't worry about money. We have that covered. Why don't you just get care? People go bankrupt in the United States of America. People go bankrupt every day. It's one of the biggest bankruptcy problems ever. You broke your leg and you lost your job and now you can't pay your car insurance, so I guess you have to go to jail and your kid's going to foster care. You ever hear that story before? Because it doesn't really happen a lot in Canada. And I'm irate. I'm trying to be like cordial and like sweet about this, but it isn't funny. People literally lose their lives every day because they don't get preventative care, and it makes me upset that a fucking CEO can get on a fucking private jet and smoke a big fat cigar while he fucking laughs his way to the fucking bank. Now, I don't want that. That's not happening on my fucking watch. I'm gonna call you out on that bullshit because it isn't fair and it's not cool. And if you want to talk about socialism, here I got one for you. You're here in the Netherlands, they're a pretty sweet place. Happiest people on the planet live in the Netherlands. And why is that, you wonder? Oh, golly. The United States is supposed to be the best country in the world, quote unquote. And it's just, we're like 50th on the happiness scale. And you know why? Because we're sick and we're fucking poor. And we're not happy about it. So this is a democracy, and I am more than willing to obviously share my point of view with you and on this topic. It's my pleasure, to be honest with you, and I do get heated, and it is hard to portray what I actually feel about all this in a concise manner. So if anything that I do say upsets you, I apologize, and you probably should just cry about it and then watch it again, because I'm not trying to make you mad, okay? It's just not happening. My goal is utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is, the best way to describe it is socialism, democratic socialism, because you're trying to provide as well of a place for as many human beings and life on this planet as possible, as often as possible. So that's nice, right? Because I look at it like human beings are the cream of the crop of the universe. We are the best organism. It took 4.5 billion years to get right here, right now on this couch. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty sure we can do a lot better. So with that being said, yes, your taxes will go up. Healthcare, it is expensive. Yes. And that's my next point. Everybody needs healthcare. Isn't that funny? Supply and demand. Okay? Now, what if everybody demands it? Okay? You're taking the demand out of the equation. So it's cheaper to just funnel that. It's not like video games, and it's not like cars, and it's not like televisions, and it's not like remote control airplanes, and it's not like anything other industry that, yeah, it's nice to have that kind of cool shit, but it's not necessary for your life. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe you do need a snowmobile to get around from place to place to get supplies. I don't know. But for the majority of people, the one thing that we do have in common is healthcare. We are getting older every day. You know, it just happens. So my point here is that eventually everybody will use healthcare, and everybody needs it. Take the demand out of the equation. All these countries. Spain pays less money for healthcare, and they're the healthiest people on the planet. And we're throwing money onto a furnace that CEOs eat the ash of that's money, and they're like, oh, that's so good, I just love this money, I can't believe 400 people are going to die of cancer today, but that's not really my problem, even though it is my job to provide care, but not really. My job is to make money as a CEO of a fucking insurance company. So I guess my point is, you just cut out the middleman. Take that whole job away. If you're really good at being a CEO, I guess you should do that in another industry, because I can't take it anymore. I'm furious. And so I'm going to play Battlefield, and I do appreciate this if you do watch this. I know it's a longer video, but with that being said, hey, I don't have a camera crew around here, and you're looking at this on my phone. So give that a thumbs up. If you did like what you see, if you agree with what I had to say on this point, consider subscribing, because I'll do this shit all the time. And if not, why don't you let me know why? So with that being said, folks, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for watching, and have the best day possible. Until next time, adieu.